Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your 15-minute morning flow with Josh, aka Stretch with Fletch, filming here in the beautiful Costa Rica. This flow, as I said, it's going to be 15 minutes. We're going to wiggle into our bodies, warming up our bodies to start the day right. So, if you're coming with me, we're going to hit play on the playlist all together in 3, 2, 1. And we'll come and find ourselves in a seated, cross-legged position in the center of our mat. Maybe closing down those eyes and starting to look inwards. Hands can fall on the inside of the knees, palms facing up or palms facing down. Checking in with your breath. Together we'll take a deep, clearing exhale. So inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it all go. Sighs, noises are welcome. Taking one more of those. Inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale, let it all out. Maybe sticking the tongue out this time. Really nice. And then gently closing the lips, starting to bring that breath in and out through the nose. Noticing any thoughts, any feelings that are arising for you this morning. Acknowledging them and then letting them float away. They do not need to disturb us or serve us for the next 15 or so minutes. Gently opening those eyes on our inhale, we're going to take our hands up to the sky, let our gaze follow. On the exhale, our right hand comes down to our right hand side and our left hand lifts up and over. Inhale here and exhale, maybe sink a little deeper. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, we'll take it over to the other side. Really letting that gaze go up underneath that right armpit. It's early in the morning and it's early in our practice, so going gently with the body here. Inhale, back up through center. And this time we twist around to the right, so right hand behind the bottom, left hand to your right knee, and let the gaze go over the right shoulder. Inhale, straighten that back, and exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhaling, we're coming back through center, and then take it over to the other side. So if you're coming with me, left hand behind the bottom, right hand to the right knee. On the inhale, you feel as if you're elongating through the spine, being pulled up by a puppet string from your tip of your head. And exhale, twist a little deeper. Really using our breath here as our guide. On our next inhale, coming back through center. And if you don't have any issues with the knees, we're going to roll over. If you do have issues with the knees, just untuck your legs and we'll find ourselves in an all fours position. Pushing down through the hands, really spreading through the fingertips. Inhaling, lowering the belly, rising the chest up to the sky. Exhale, rounding the spine in your cat pose. Inhale, coming through your cow. Exhale, your cat. 2 more of these with your breath. And then we'll find ourselves in a neutral spine. Just bring a little bit of warmth into those wrists before we start moving. Sway from left to right and right to left. Maybe forwards and backwards. Really pushing some weight into those fingertips and the hands. Maybe taking the hands to face the long edge of the mat. Maybe taking the fingers so they point back towards the knees. And then placing the hands back down in your all fours position. From here, we're going to tuck our toes and lift those hips up to the sky for our first downward facing dog of the day. Maybe pedaling out those feet, walking your dog out. Really spreading through those hands, pushing down through the hands and the feet to enable you to lift those hips up to the sky. And then maybe find some stillness here. On our inhale, we're going to rise to our tiptoes, roll forwards to a high plank. And on our exhale, we're going to bend those knees, shoot the bottom back, and lift the hips up to the sky. Inhale, roll forwards, high plank. Exhale, shoot it back to your downward facing. One more of these. And then we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to tiptoe to the top of the mat. Really having a juicy bend, a generous bend in those knees. Coming into our forward fold, our Uttanasana. Letting the top half of the body hang heavy. Inhale, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And come to stand tall at the top of your mat in your Tadasana. Moving through our Stanes on our inhale. Take our hands up to the sky, let the gaze follow. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, hands on the ground, the shins. Exhale, take those hands down to the mat, step back to your high plank. For this first one, we're going to lower our knees, bending our elbows, lowering our chest and our chin down to the ground. Inhale, Cobra. And then exhale, take it back to your downward facing dog. That's your modified version of Chaturanga. One more deep inhale in our downward facing. And then on the inhale, we move to the top of the mat, stepping the right foot, then the left foot. Inhaling, coming up halfway. Exhale, forward fold it down. Inhale, rooting down through the feet, rise up to the sky. Exhale, your Tadasana. Second round, inhale those arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the mat, left foot back, then right foot this time in your high plank. This time moving through the full version if that's in your practice. Lowering down halfway. On the inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Where we'll be for 2 breaths. Really thinking about ripping the mat apart with your hands and your feet to lift those hips up to the sky. On the next inhale, coming to those tiptoes, we're either going to step or maybe hop to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down to rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, your Tadasana. Inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands down to the mat, step back to your high plank. And then this time, we push it back to our downward facing dog. From our downward dog, our right foot rises to the sky and then steps towards the top of the mat. We're coming into our high lunge. So pushing down through both feet, take those hands up to the sky. Inhaling here. Exhale. On your next inhale, we're opening out to our warrior 2. Taking the hands down to the mat, step it back, move through your vinyasa. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Moving on to the left side, left foot rises, left foot steps to the top of the mat, coming into that high lunge. And then we're opening up into our warrior two. Windmilling those hands down to the ground, step it back, move through your vinyasa, and we'll all meet in our downward facing dog. From our downward facing, we're going to step or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Stepping your left foot back, halfway down the mat. We're coming into our goddess pose. So bending those knees, we're lowering down into the hips. I like to place one hand on each knee and just sway from left to right, right to left. From here, we're going to bring in some lifts. So on our inhale, we're going to take our hands up to the sky, let the gaze follow, straighten those legs. And on the exhale, cactusing those arms, sinking down into the legs. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. And exhale it down and hold. Taking those hands back to the knees. We're going to lift up. We're going to turn those feet so they're now parallel to the short edges of the mat. Hands around our hips. On the inhale, have a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe letting those hands fall down to the ground. Really nice. Melting the top half of the body down to the earth. Pushing into the outside edge of those feet. One more inhale here. Exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper. And then on your inhale, come up halfway. We're going to bend those knees, grab the feet in, and we're coming down into our Malasana squat. Hands at heart center. Really pushing the outside edges of those arms into the knees. Opening the chest here, the left hand goes down to the top left corner of the mat, and the right hand rises up to the sky. Hands back into center. Right hand goes down to the top right corner of the mat, and the left hand raises up to the sky. Hands back into heart center. And then we're going to sit ourselves down onto our bottoms, coming into our Navasana, our boat pose. Feet can be on the ground, or they can be lifted, adding a little bit more strain and engagement on the core. Lowering those feet down, we're going to come into an upside down table, so placing the hands behind you, fingertips pointing forwards, planting the feet. We're going to push through those hands to lift our hips up to the sky. And on the exhale, you're going to take your bottoms through and lift it off the ground. Inhale, bring it forwards into your upside down table. Exhale, taking it back. One more of these. Upside down table. Exhale, take it back. And then drop yourself down onto the floor. From here, we're coming into our Baddha Konasana. So, soles of the feet together. On the inhale, rise up tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Thinking about your forehead, your gaze going towards your toes rather than your heels. Not worrying about any noises or distractions that might be happening around you. Inhale, we'll rise up, and then we're going to come into our Supta Baddha Konasana. So slowly lowering down onto our backs. From here, we're going to plant the feet on the ground, tickling our heels. We're going to come into one round of bridge, so lifting our hips up off the ground, taking our arms over the top of the mat. And then exhale, lower those hips down, tuck the knees into the chest and give yourself a big hug, rocking from left to right and right to left. We're going to rock and roll up our mat, and we're going to come and find ourselves in a seated cross-legged position where we were 15 minutes ago. Maybe closing down the eyes once more. We'll take a deep inhale all together to close our practice, inhaling deeply through the nose and then letting it go through the mouth. Bring your hands into heart center in gratitude for yourself for taking the time to warm up into the body this morning. Bowing to the earth. Jai Ma, thank you, earth. Inhale, coming back to the room, opening your eyes. Thank you so much for flowing with me. That was your 15-minute warm-up. If anyone has any questions or comments, please just ping me a message on Instagram. Bye for now.